Day 6 of hostage release here, and between Israel and Hamas, Hamas is releasing hostages, including and my coworker here, Raya, is here as well. Hamas is releasing hostages, and Israel is releasing Palestinians that are in detention in Israel, that are imprisoned for various reasons. So, sorry? I don't know who's watching. Let's see. Actually, we could watch it right here. They're actually doing, this is doing subtitles? That's amazing. Anyway,
Who's watching?
who's
There's two
watching?
people.
Yes, there's two people. Ryan's so excited. All right, so I'm going to start this. We're watching possibly not live, but pictures coming in right now of Hamas transferring prisoners to the Red Cross. That came from Hamas or Palestinian social media. So let's start with this, though. We do not know. We don't yet know. 10 of the Israelis are going to be released tonight. But what we do know is that earlier today, this afternoon, Hamas announced, and I'm going to read their words exactly, the Al-Qassam brigades. Al-Qassam is the military wing of Hamas. The Al-Qassam brigades announced the killing of 3 Zionist detainees as a result of a previous Zionist bombing of the Gaza Strip. So to translate that, Zionist means Israel, and they then name the iconic family, the mother with the 2 redhead babies, a 9-month-old and a 4-year-old. And they were called in Israel, everybody would refer to the Jinjim. They say Jinji is redhead here. And so everybody was always talking about, they're going to be releasing the Jinjim, or they have to be. You would have thought that they would have been in the first round. But there were all sorts of stories connected to that. Like at first, Hamas said they cannot locate them. Hamas went in and they delegated the hostages to other groups and sometimes families to keep them. And so, yeah, and that chat is, I love your little assistant. Hey, Raya.
Hi.
So anyway, Israel cannot confirm if that is true. And, it's partly Hamas with psychological war. Is it like a Hamas playing a psychological warfare game that they talk about, that they would say, knowing that the youngest hostage would be, that everybody was talking about, that, that even if you're in another country, you knew that a baby was in Hamas custody from 9 months old, turned 10 months while there. And so is this just part of their psychological warfare? Now, I was also wondering if they were holding them to the end of the exchange, like days and days of exchanges, in order that Israel would continue to make these exchanges in order to waiting for the baby to get out. But then they announced this today. So Israel said they are working on confirming that. They said that if this is true, they said Hamas, who kidnapped and abducted anybody from Israel into Gaza, they are responsible, no matter how they died, even if it was an Israeli bomb in an airstrike. Hamas is responsible. So that's Israel's stance. So we're watching right now. This is the extended hostage release. There were 4, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Then there was the 4-day truce. They had extended it. This is the second extension. So I think they might be releasing, showing other new pictures now that I haven't seen yet. So what's been happening? So the exchange has taken place. The Israelis are now in Egypt, being turned over from the Red Cross. It goes from Hamas to the Red Cross. Red Cross brings them into Egypt, and then from in Egypt they take they bring them to Israelis, who then will bring them into Israel to a base, and then from the base they take them to a hospital where the families will be waiting for them, and there they will undergo checks. But they did release 2 Russian Israeli citizens in addition to the 10. So each time Hamas has released extra prisoners that were foreign workers or foreign nationals. And so that's something else I want to talk about, is that Thailand took the brunt outside of Israel. Thailand took the brunt of deaths and kidnappings on October 7th. So they of all the Thailand has 30,000 foreign workers. There's 30,000 Thai foreign workers in Israel. Most of them work in agriculture. There's also a lot of Filipinos. They work in like care, one-on-one with patients, whether it's elderly or and so a lot of these people come here because the salaries are better. So for the Thai workers, 39 were killed on October 7th. I mean, that's a huge number, and many kidnapped. And I don't know how many, but I will tell you how many so far have been released. I believe it's 17. 17 have been released. Now, I just watched an interview that a Thai negotiator had with Sky News. And in this interview, he justified the taking of hostages, even his own people, in exchange for prisoners. And he said this is a way for Hamas to bring focus to the Palestinian cause. He expressed sympathy for the Palestinian people. He said that the border. He said that the Thai people should not work in the border area because it's disputed land, and anyone who's there is fair game. He said that if Hamas comes in again to the disputed area, they're not checking passports, they're just taking people. And he also thanked Iran for their part in helping in supporting their negotiations. He said that he also said there were no conditions placed on Thailand as part of this exchange, and Thailand got more people out and faster. Like right from the beginning, they got their people out. I mean, the U.S. has not succeeded to do that. The first 2 hostages released were Americans, dual Israeli American citizens, or maybe just American, but Jewish. And they were released without any negotiation. Just Hamas was like, "Oh, we're giving up 2 prisoners," and then later they gave up 2 more prisoners. They just said, "Here, take them." And I still cannot, I still don't know why. I haven't heard like a really good reason why they did that. So there were 4 released before this round, and then weeks went by, and then this round. Now, he also said, this is the Thai negotiator. He also said he acknowledged that 39 Thai were killed, but he said, but we don't really know how or by who. So so it's very interesting. So what I want to know what Thailand is, what deals were made if Iran's involved, and justifying the taking of children. This is a war crime, actually. So in any case, So now Hamas has also expressed that it wants another 4 days to continue this ceasefire, and there would be another 10 Israelis released each day, so there would be another 40. Right now, there are 155 hostages. There's still 9 children, 18 and under. There's still 9, and originally this was supposed to be a deal for children and their mothers to be released. But among those 9, there are 2 Muslim children as well. And then there's the 2 not yet presumed dead redhead children that everybody's seen the picture, the 9-month-old Kfir and his 4-year-old brother Ariel. And his mother, we don't know her status, and also their father was kidnapped separately, and he was taken into Gaza with an apparent head injury. You could see from the videos going by. So there are still 30 women ages 18 to 60. There are 96 men in the same age group. 3 women, only 3 women 60 and up are left. That was the big release that they did in the last couple of days, was a lot of elderly women. And then there's 17 men in that age group of 60 plus. I don't know how many are foreign nationals or if there are any more foreign workers. 2 Filipinos have been released as well. And of course, now 3 Russians. And the Russians that were released today were extra. So that to me seems like that's. I'm just checking this out. Sorry, I see some chats coming in, and I'm sorry if I am missing them, guys, because oh, I can see them here. I just opened it on my computer, and I can see, at least on this. If you're commenting on YouTube, I'm sorry, I don't have that open too. But that'd be great. Go comment on YouTube. That'd be awesome. Okay, so anyway, that brings us to what is Israel going to do if oh, I see what I did with the chat. Look at that. It just pops up there. Who knew? This is great. I'm experimenting. Thank you for being with me tonight to watch the news together, to experiment with technology together. Raya could probably do it better than me, but she got bored and she's gone. This probably isn't the best material for children, but they've been exposed to it from the beginning, and I think they're handling it pretty well. Let's pray there's no long-term consequences. I will tell you that today I did a few interviews regarding trauma counseling and what is going to be the state of Israel in the state of Israel in a few weeks, as things start to unfold, starting with what about the hostages that are coming back? What about the people who are grieving? And there's just so many phases of trauma. There's so many different traumas, and there's so many traumas that have never been dealt with before here in Israel. So I spoke with the CEO of the Israel Trauma Coalition, and she said, we have no idea what's coming. We have no idea what will be. We have plans. But it's all going to unfold slowly, and it's going to take not 1 but 2 generations to completely deal with this. Another person I spoke with, who's a family counselor, said, she said, we're waiting for the tsunami. And she said, right now, people are, she said, there's always going to be people who take things harder and are going to need more help. And she said, but even the resilient ones now are still pushing off their trauma by dealing with right now, okay, how do I work? I'm evacuated, I'm living in a hotel. How do I work? How do I get my kids to school, in a new setting? And what about my house, and how can we return? And so she said a lot of these feelings that they're having right now is kind of like staving off the eventual trauma. And she herself said that she was when she first went through the experience, she lives in Sderot, which is a city just north of the Gaza Strip. It's for 20 years under rocket bombardment. Many times, very, very frequent, sometimes all out war, sometimes just a few random rockets over the weekend. Seriously, it's like that. And so she said, we always live in a state of trauma. And she said, but this was something else. And as much as I'm trying to help and I'm calling all my people I'm in touch with, she said, I noticed that even in those first few days, I couldn't speak. There was words would not come out of my mouth. There was some kind of stop. And so she said that even the counselors need counseling. So it's going to be crazy. And then I thought, if that's the case with Israel, who's already, people here are already thinking about how to help their citizens and how to get them through this and walk the country, hand in hand through this whole this situation, get us with as little scarring as possible. I was thinking, what about the people in Gaza who are also, going through bombings, homes, entire buildings demolished. The numbers are about 15,000 dead. Maybe it's more actually today, but and they're living in complete poverty, and I mean, they also are experiencing trauma, and if that is not taken care of, and then what? Their hatred for this, for Israel and for the situation is only going to grow. So, I was thinking, who's worrying about the Palestinians trauma counseling, and how do you even do that? So anyway, that was it was a pretty heavy story, and I'm going to work on that, and we'll put it out soon. But what else? The spokesperson of the Israeli army speaking right now, live. Can I flip the camera on this? No. I'm not sure if I can flip the camera. I'm just listening, sorry. It's so boring right here. לכן אני רוצה להבהיר לציבור, אנחנו מוכנים להמשך לחימה עכשיו. Okay. And that's the other thing I did want to talk about. He just said, we are ready to go back to war right now. And that is something that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said today. He said, from the start of the war, I set 3 goals: eliminating Hamas, returning all of our hostages, and ensuring that Gaza will never again go back to being a threat to the state of Israel. These 3 goals still stand. And he said that the hostage release has been an achievement, but he said, in recent days, I've heard a question: after completing this stage of the return of our hostages, will Israel go back to the fighting? My answer is an unequivocal yes. So that's the words, and he has been saying this from the beginning. Netanyahu has, and we'll see if he stands by it. I'll tell you that people in Israel are wanting their loved one released. They've seen quite a few get out already, and so I think that it kind of makes them feel like, they want more. Like, wait a second, what about mine? And, there's the forgotten age group. If you weren't a mother between the ages of 18 to 60, then you were not, that's the hugest group. That's, there's 120 people. That's the bulk of the hostages at this point, is between 18 to 60, and 96 of them are men. So, a lot of them are young men. But the next few stages of the ceasefire would actually they might, I don't want to say they might, they would have to, because right now the what's the word for me today, the agreement, more or less, is for mothers and children. And then if they that's going to be over. Like, there's only 9 children left. Hopefully there's 9 children left. And then after that, after 10 tonight, like, let's just say they're all children, which that's not probably going to happen tonight, but then there would be none left. So they would have to start negotiating from within the other age groups. And then of the 60 and up, there's only 20. So these, the people, who are parents, many of them fathers, in the 18 to 60 category, many of them are fathers of the kids that were kidnapped. And they're, nobody's getting close to getting them on the list at this point. I saw a woman today drive up in her car. Oh wait, is this for Emily? Oh no, not okay. They're doing birthday parties for the kids who spent their birthdays in the tunnels here. So that's what's been happening. There's now also stories coming out about what the hostages went through. So Emily Hands, the Irish Israeli girl, her father Tom Hand became famous for saying, when he found out she was dead, for saying good, because he said, you've seen what happens to them when they're alive, so I prefer this. Turns out she was alive, and now she's been released. So he said, he did an interview with CNN, and he said that one of the things that she actually whispers now, when she talks, like, he said he had to get like this close to her to hear what she was saying. She said, one of the things she told him was, I thought you were kidnapped too. They were told to be quiet all the time. There were some of them. Oh, I saw an interview with the Filipino who was released. A Filipino team from, I don't know if you know, Operation Blessing. It's a humanitarian organization. They're here, and it just so happens that they were in a hotel where the Filipino hostage was released to. And so they got an interview with him, and he talked about his experiences. There was no food. A lot of them said this, that there was very little food, and they would, like, he had one pita to last the whole day. Also, like, some of the other ones said they had like one bowl of rice a day or something like that. But he said he would get, like, they would give them like a sheet of toilet paper. And he said what he used it for, he put it on the wall, the damp wall, and it would, after it would get wet, he would eat it. And he said it was his only form of sustenance some days. They were also, many of them, just underground the whole time in tunnels. Some of them were separated. Some of them had no contact the whole time. So different experiences for different people, and so these are some of the stories that we're hearing. Trying to see. I think I thought I saw another question come through, or a comment. Oh, do I think that the Thai state? I'm glad I opened this chat because I can't see this. That's so funny. Do you think the Thai statement just endangers people further? Do you mean the endangers who? Because it doesn't endanger the Thai. I think what's going on is that the Russian, everybody who's, is doing their back channel negotiations. The Russians, clearly, because they're getting their people out. The Thai, and I don't know how the Philippines did it. They only had two, but they are working also with Iran on that. The Thailand and the negotiator. I mean, maybe Thailand, you could look at it as very wise to do this to get its people out. But they had a Muslim negotiator on, so he was able to speak like on par with from the same perspective of religion, and perhaps that helped. Um, so so I don't know. But there's a lot of back deals, and I don't know what I don't know what that eventually means. Like is going on. Um, Let me see. I see there's something else, but of course, in typical fashion of YouTube, I cannot see, or Facebook, I can't see all my comments. Unbelievable. Um, okay, Operation Blessing. Well, IDF, yes. Yes, it's part of CBN. Operation Blessing is part of the Christian Broadcasting Network. Karen, I'm not sure if I answered your question or if I avoided it. I didn't really avoid it on purpose. Will the IDF soldier hostages be released? So, yeah, there are, I don't know the number, but there are many IDF hostages. And they're, I hesitate to say anything I heard because none of it ever happens, in these, when it gets released, like, because all the negotiations are happening in Qatar. The head of the CIA is there. The head of Israel's Shin Bet is there, or was the Mossad? Actually, maybe Mossad was there, I think. But I mean, both have been there. So this time, I mean, and also we have Secretary of State, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken coming here. So there's a lot of backdoor deals going on still with them too. Now, we heard, there was possibly, and then soldiers like that. Even like Hamas doesn't want the Israeli soldiers. They, get rid of them. Yeah, sure. Like, and then they're going to empty out the jails with all the Palestinian prisoners. But I can't say that that's true or that that's going to happen. It's all rumor, hearsay, and it means nothing even until it happens. Like, for instance, unless you see that the Israelis even cross the border into Israel, I don't even believe it until then. That's how careful you have to be with this stuff. I also heard the opposite. They don't want to release the 16 and 17-year-old kids because they're going to become soldiers when they turn 18. And so they're already considered the enemy. So I'm hearing like opposite reports. So I would definitely report nothing until the end, until they make a decision and they actually then act on it. So every single day, despite the agreement that's been in place, every single day you get to this point, at night, where you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and sometimes till midnight even, to see that the hostages really are released. And it's there's this, I think I've said it before, like this national collective intake of breath of like, what's going to happen? Is it going to happen? And then after this, they'll switch over to the prison where they're releasing the Palestinian prisoners. And I've said before, if you've heard this before, but the Palestinian prisoners are released to their families, like they're released to their homes. And there's not a procedure similar to the procedure that Israel has, like for the intake of the hostages. They have a very stringent procedure. So it's a little different. Right now, just up the hill here in Jerusalem, there's a kibbutz called Ramat Rachel. And that is, they're actually gathering there, hoping that today is the day for the release of one of their kibbutz members, who's a 17-year-old, Ophir Engel. we know his father from the organization Shalva. It's a center for kids with special needs. And the father, Yoav, I mean, according to Facebook, it's his birthday today. Um, so, so he is awaiting the release of his son today, and that would be an amazing present. So we don't know the names of the people, but the families probably already do. So anyway, let's see. Could it endanger the Thai residents because Hamas knows the Thai hostages will make statements supporting Hamas, which gives them positive news story. Wait, could it endanger the Thai residents here in Israel because Hamas knows the Thai? No, I think. Oh, you mean will endanger them among Israelis? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to think of it that way. But that is interesting. Wow, I didn't even think that. Somebody's asking, Turk, what is the Restream? The Restream is this program I'm using that can stream to two separate platforms at the same time. So I don't even know if are you watching on YouTube or on Facebook, because I am streaming to both right now because I don't have time to do both. And this does it for me. So I think it's fantastic. So I'm not advertising for Restream. I'm testing Restream. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it good? So Karen, if you're asking, like, if you think that it would endanger the Thai people here in Israel, then I don't think so. I think that would be extreme cases, and I'm not. I don't. I have a feeling no, and I have a feeling like with all the other news, probably a lot of them would miss it. Like people would miss it. So, all right, I'm looking to see. I feel like there is another one on Facebook here. Okay. Okay. All right. So commercial there. Let's go to channel 11. It's very slow process. Here, this is Emily.
So I don't need the details. But
that's Emily.
Hit her. She doesn't even call Gaza Gaza. She doesn't want us to call it Gaza. She wants us to call it Kufsa.
The box.
נראה שהתקשורת העולמית לא מסוגלת להתעלם מהסיפור האנושי המרגש הזה, ובוודאי כשיש סיפורים רבים כל כך כאלה עכשיו. בכלי התקשורת בעולם, בני המשפחות חשפו פרטים על תנאי השבי.
They didn't see sunlight for the whole time.
Oh, this is good too, a good interview.
Yes, you can see it on their face. That they didn't see light, sunlight. Sometimes saw TV, so they already know that the gas is alive.
They saw that their mother was alive.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that when she arrived, she was hungry. And obviously she had not been fed what we want a 3 who just turned 4-year-old on Friday. And she was telling them what she wanted. And she wanted bagel, which are like little pretzels. And she wanted juice. And
וסיפרו גם על מי שנותר מאחור.
It's very difficult for us. It's 54 days of
encouraging the further kidnapping of Thais. But no, I would say that probably Hamas was told to stand down with the Thais now. Like if you mean Hamas, I don't think they would kidnap more at this point. And I think also like the kidnapping phase is sort of over, like in terms of the border is secure again. And I don't know, but they might not have any more left. Thai citizens left in Gaza, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I mean, you just hear like these stories and they're just coming out like little by little about what the people went through over there. Turk is asking, can we translate in Restream? I don't know. You should see, if you've watched any of these before, you can see there's very little I know. I don't even know how to do back camera, which is why I'm turning it around. There might be a way. Yeah, I don't know if it translates. And the subtitles it's doing, which I see it's doing, I mean, that's like, I didn't ask. It's great. There is one of the hostages, you know, they're leaving people behind, and they even separated one girl from her mother, and the mother is the girl got out, the 13-year-old girl, but the mother was left behind. Also, Emily, who we saw before, the father was talking, and he said she calls Gaza the box. Like, she doesn't want to call it Gaza. Like, that's, and she had said also she learned how to say shut up or be quiet in Arabic because they constantly told them to be quiet. By the way, also somebody yesterday, a young girl, I think she's like 16 or 17 years old, she came out with a dog, like it looked like a Shih Tzu, and it was her dog. Apparently, she was kidnapped with her dog into Gaza, and the dog. I mean, you tell a Shih Tzu to be quiet. That's not going to happen. Somehow, though, the dog and her both came back to Israel. I was so surprised when I saw that. A lot of Israelis are talking about like the show that goes on every night by Hamas. Hamas was joined also last night by the Al-Quds Brigade, the Fatah. It's their rival political party. No, that can't be Fatah. Would there be Fatah in Gaza? Another group, maybe it was Islamic Jihad, different headbands. Like there was the green headbands with the Hamas, but there was another group there. Also, when the hostages, like they do the same thing every night, and more Gazans are coming out to see. And like just now, I got a video just before, and there was like they're all standing there, and you know they are being held back by Hamas, and everybody's filming and Allahu Akbar, yelling as the Red Cross vans go through with the hostages. But then they hold back the crowd, and then they have a transfer from their vans to the Red Cross. And a lot of people have been saying, they're making them wave. They're telling them, no, wait, this means wait. I know in Italian it doesn't mean wait, but here in the Middle East, this means wait. So they'd be like, wait. And then they'd be like, okay, now go. And then, bye, or like hold hands, in the truck again. The best actress out there is the Red Cross girl. She's very expressive, but I silence, so we can't really know what's going on. So one of the videos had sound, and everybody thinks that they said wave, but so that goes on at all of the exchanges, but don't know. So we'll see. Waiting for the names. What I'm gonna do is this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna end the stream because I'm gonna say like, all right, I ran out of things to say and they didn't get to it yet. And then after I do that, they will release the names, probably, because that's Murphy. What is this? I don't know what shit is. Oh, a Thai citizen was giving testimony. A Thai hostage said he was kept with Israelis in I don't know if they're showing a picture of a tunnel all the time. There were guards all the time, and he said for the Jews that were with him, they got worse treatment. Sometimes they were beaten with electric cables. So it's one of the Thai
שעד עכשיו יש 13
that got released
שעדיין
that say that.
בשבי, זה על פי השגרירות התאילנדית, 45 נרצחו במהלך שבת השבועה ב7 באוקטובר.
כן, ממש ההבדלים.
Oh, I think it's more than 39 were killed. I think he said 40 something. I missed the number.
לשמוע, וחשוב מאוד שהבאת את הדברים האלה. גלעד, תודה רבה. עכשיו אנחנו רוצים לדבר איתך, תמיר סטיינמן, ראש הממשלה נתניהו מכנס את ראשי הרשויות בדרום.
Okay, that's it. All right, so let's see. Saudi Foreign Minister truce in Gaza is not enough. What is needed is a ceasefire. So yeah, right now we're in a truce, not a cease. We're in a truce, not a ceasefire. And this is one of, you know, people have been saying that that this benefits Hamas more than it benefits Israel to have this truce, because Israel will lose its momentum. Israel had gotten into Gaza City, which is the northern city in the Gaza Strip, and they had gotten there and they had started uncovering, you know, tunnels under the hospitals, and this just stops it for a while. So now it's been about 6 days that they're stopped, and people were saying Israel will lose momentum if they do this, and that will only benefit Hamas. Hamas has time to hide, regroup, rearm, move prisoners, and Israel really kind of has nothing to do at this time. Now, is maybe Israel doing stuff behind the scenes? Possibly. So there could be, there's always things going on that we don't know and we can assume. But in this case, it will be a week to Friday that there's been no fighting, and really no fighting. Also in the north, no rockets, and even the Houthis haven't launched anything in the last day or two. So it's been quiet. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I really am gonna end this now because I know better, and they can drag this on till 11 o'clock, and I am not dragging this on till 11 o'clock. It's 9 here now. I would love to be able to break the news with you about especially who is released, and let's pray. I mean, no, I won't even pray who, because you want 150 released, not just one. But you know, anyway, it's tough. This is tough for people. So wait, 4 minutes timer. What timer? What is that? Never mind. There was a what do you call it, news alert, and it says 4 minutes, and I was like, oh, maybe they'll announce in 4 minutes. Probably not. Anyway, so thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for watching the news with me. And if I'm awake when this happens, I'll post an update, like just a text update. But thanks very much. Thanks for your questions. It was fun talking about this and figuring things out, and I hope I got everything. But excuse my technological prowess. Anyway, have a good day, have a good night wherever you are, and that's it.